Welcome back to the channel's Super Academico and Blue Eye Patch. Let us keep the reading of my book Clueders, Meire Pop Beyond the Cloud, available on Amazon. In this part, we will finish the reading of the Chapter 7, 2 Futures, 1 Decision, and we will begin the Chapter 8, Clueders Games, Beyond the Cloud. Don't forget to subscribe to both channels and like and share the video. Let's go! Thinking about it, I figured maybe Professor Mello is not the only older person with resentments about how the future is shaping up. But at that moment, it was he that we had to take care of, to make sure the worst of the possible futures did not come true. If there were other villains in the future, we would take care of them one by one. And how do you suggest we take care of him? We must prevent him from becoming the villain of our future. And how do we do that? Simple, making him an ally, a friend rather than an enemy. That's why I need you to arrange a friendly meeting with him. Something unpretentious, maybe in your house, where Leandro and I can come too. Leandro? What does he have to do with it? Why does he need to come too? I had to restrain my laughter at Marcos's ridiculous display of jealousy. Another adorable aspect that made them look even more alike. Marcos, Leandro is his student. It was he who introduced him to me. He is as involved in this madness as the two of us. And like it or not, he is my boyfriend now. He was silent for a while and finally said, "All right, Meire. I'll see what I can do." We said goodbye, and we hung up. Alone at the kitchen counter, I saw with a certain clarity that this was the right decision, as each decision leads to possibilities for the future. And the future that I prefer now is one of more peace and harmony, even with a lot of work. Chapter 8, Clueders Games, Beyond the Cloud. Later that day, Marcos called me back. He said he was able to arrange a meeting with Professor Mello at his house 2 days later. He told me that Mello was not surprised but was curious to understand the motives of that invitation. Marcos did not anticipate anything for the guest, just said it was a gathering of Clueders interested in the future of the cloud and neurointernet. Marcos could also arrange for Vinny Mayo to attend. He was not close to us, he would have to come from a nearby town, but he was also interested. Our exchanges on the internet were still to be much greater, but at the time he was a cloud celebrity, much more popular than me, but who seemed as concerned as we are about the future. I had 2 quiet days despite the expectation about the meeting. I didn't meet with Leandro, but we kept constant contact by text message. He was concerned about the scenario I was setting up, but he seemed to trust my still unsure leadership in the situation. On the appointed day and hour, we arrived at Marcos's house. We were the first to arrive, me and Leandro. The house was huge. It was not far from mine, but it was in the opposite direction from our school. When we were still together, we used to make the longest walk. After he'd left me at home, he would return to his. So I had never seen his before, and it was impressive. We rang the bell twice until someone came. She was a maid, wearing a uniform. Marcos had mentioned a couple of times that he was alone in the house with servants. I could tell from the size of the house why he felt lonely and dislocated at times. Marcos appeared just as we entered, down the stairs. He came to greet us and led us to some sort of office or a library. The old rivalry between Marcos and Leandro has not yet transpired at this first moment, but it would pay us a visit later. We sat on the armchairs on one side of the large room. On the other side was a table with 6 seats and another desk with a computer always on. Many books on the shelves around, most related to history and diplomacy. It was a space evidently set up for Marcos's father, but, according to him, never used since he had moved here alone. After a few moments of silence, Marcos said, "So, any new dreams?" "No, none since the last." "How does this synchrony of messages and dreams come from the future?" "I don't know for sure, Marcos. Perhaps by the still unknown nature of the neurointernet mechanism at such a quantum level, every new action we do now shapes the need for a new message in the future." Leandro also decided to participate in the conversation. "You've been studying a lot about this, haven't you, Meire?"
"Yes.
It's an interesting subject, but sometimes it sounds more like science fiction than science. By the traditional laws of physics, if what we do now works, things will just go on as they are. It's inertia. Completed Marcos. Exact. Leandro gave a quick glance at him, and then turning back to me. The problem, my dears, is that quantum physics doesn't seem to mesh well with classical physics. The concept of inertia in this case dissipates in the cloud. Look at that, of wills, choices, feelings, and thoughts. At that moment the bell rings again, at Marcos's house. After a quiet waiting and a little apprehension appeared in the door of the office, accompanied by the house's maid, a thin boy, measuring about 6 feet, with light brown skin and black curly and meticulously messed up hair, as it was very fashionable among the boys at the time. It was the famous YouTuber Vinny Mayo. He wore brand-ripped jeans, orange t-shirts a little big for him. It was also the fashion of the season, and he had a big smile, typical of anyone being a hit in the spectacular world of the cloud. For all intents and purposes, a clueder, a contemporary, and with luck, a powerful ally. Marcos rose to greet him. Vinny, I'm glad you're here. These are Leandro and, of course, Meire Pop. We've hit the cloud a few times already. What's up, babe? Hi, Vinny. I also enjoy your videos, very much. Leandro stepped forward to speak to him, in a clear primate demonstration that he was the strongest, oldest, and master of that female.
I hope you have enjoyed this reading. Continuing to support the channel's Super Academico and Blue Eye Patch. Subscribe, like, and share the video. Bye-bye.